Good evening, everybody. Tim Coed here once again on the call with First Class Radio. Well, 2 nights ago, Milford entered Pheno Field with just 2 wins on the season. Both of those wins were via the Mercy Rule, victories over Leominster and also Framingham, but 6 losses on the season, coming off of a loss in their most recent game against Northbridge. So hoping to turn things around, hoping to generate some momentum, and what was a pitcher's duel turned into yet another Mercy Rule victory for Milford as they defeated Sturbridge in 6 innings by a final score of 11-0. And one of the real bright spots besides the offense in the game was the pitching performance of Kevin Valentine, getting his first start for Milford, and he certainly made a good first impression. So it was a very good night all the way around for Milford. And so now, for the first time on the season here tonight, they look to do something that has been a struggle on the season, and that is win back-to-back games. Each of those previous Mercy Rule wins have been followed up by disappointing losses, so that is a trend Milford hopes to put an end to here tonight. And for the second time on the season, they will take on Northboro post 234. What we will do now is we will step aside. We will come back with our starting lineup. So that comes your way next here on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio. Milford, with their victory last night, improving their record overall on the season to 3-6. Northboro coming into the game here tonight at 2-6. These two teams right snug up against each other in the standings. Milford now in 10th place overall in Zone 4, with Northboro in 11th place. So this is an important game between these two teams, each team needing wins to climb back up in the standings. And I did tweet this out earlier this afternoon, but Milford, with their victory last night, now just a game and a half out of a playoff spot. So even though things have not always been sunshine here in the early days of the season, it is not a big hole for Milford to dig out of. So if they can continue to grab victories the way they did last night, this team will be in very good shape. And now on to our starting lineups for tonight's game. For the visiting lineup, that is Northboro post 234. Their lineup looks like this. Leading it off is the shortstop, Dylan Kino. Batting second is the center fielder, Mike Stamus, with Ross Grasso catching and batting third. Colin Mitchell, the designated hitter, bats fourth, with Connor Troyo, the left fielder, batting fifth. Adam Jenga plays third base and bats sixth. Batting seventh is the right fielder, Mike McCormick. Ben Mackey plays first base and bats eighth, and in the ninth spot is the second baseman, Kevin O'Leary. And for Milford, post 59, their lineup looks like this evening. Matt DeCina leads it off and plays shortstop. Brian Espinette bats second and plays second, with the third baseman Andrew McMillan batting third. Kevin Valentine back at first base tonight. He bats cleanup, with Drew Wild back in the starting lineup as the DH batting fifth. Blake Hill bats sixth and plays right field, with Aiden Wild in as the left fielder batting seventh. Tyler Monahan catches and bats eighth, and in the ninth spot is the center fielder, Kevin Lynch. Your pitching matchup for tonight's game, it is Justin O'Connell on the mound for Northboro and Kyle Nocera on the mound for Milford post 59, and we're going to get this game in 5 minutes ahead of schedule here at Pheno Field. The first pitch from Nocera is popped up on the infield off the bat of Dylan Kino, and the catch is made at second base by Brian Espinette, so just one pitch brings the first out. Baseball underway here at Pheno Field. One final bit of business for our pregame show. We will bring you tonight's game time temperature, and it is 72 degrees here in Milford. Nocera's pitch now into the number 2 hitter, Mike Stamus, is up high for a ball. Stamus got the victory on the mound for post 234 when these two teams met back on June 11th. But in tonight as the center fielder, that is no doubt a relief to these Milford batters, knowing they will not have to face Stamus this evening. Instead, Justin O'Connell getting the start. He'll be on the mound in the bottom half of the inning. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Stamus, with 1 out and the bases empty. And this pitch from Nocera is hit on the ground to first base. Valentine has it. He will take it to the bag himself. And 2 quick outs in the top of the first. 3 unassisted on that ground out. And now here is Ross Grasso, the starting catcher. A couple of different personnel utilized in this lineup tonight for Northboro than what we saw back in the first meeting of these teams. Grasso, however, was in there in the starting lineup back on June 11th. The first pitch from Nocera to Grasso is a called strike one. Now a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Nocera, a 1-1 record coming into action tonight on the mound. Stares over his glove for the sign. Here is the 1-1 pitch. Down and in, ball 2. Nocera picking up a victory in his last start against Framingham. Allowed 3 runs in the bottom of the first inning in that game, but then shut down the Framingham bats from there. And a ground ball rolled foul over towards the visitors on deck circle. And it is a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Ross Grasso with 2 outs and the base is clear. Nocera hesitates. Now goes into his windup. Here is the 2-2 pitch, and it's chopped on the ground to shortstop. Fielded by DeCina. A low throw to first base, but picked nicely by Valentine for the out. That ends the inning. A good start for Nocera. He sets them down 1-2-3 in the top of the first. It is Milford Post 59 who will take their first swings of the game. When we come back next, stay tuned to coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on First Class Radio. We welcome you back in, ladies and gentlemen, to coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on First Class Radio. I am Tim Coet, Craig D'Alessandro over in our WMRC studios. And if you're just tuning in now, we're at the scheduled first pitch time for this game between Milford and Northboro, but this game getting in a little bit ahead of schedule. We've already seen the top of the first inning, a very good start for Kyle Nocera, a 1-2-3 inning, just 9 pitches thrown. And so we move right on to the bottom of the first, where it will be Matt DeCina, Brian Espinette, and Andrew McMillan. The usual suspects atop this Milford order. They have really settled into a good groove. These 3 batters at the top of the Milford lineup over the last 4 games. Matt DeCina will get it started. Matt DeCina with a .444 batting average. Coming into play here this evening, he starts off ahead in the count 1-0. DeCina reaching base in all 3 of his at-bats last night. He walked twice and also reached on an error. He had 2 stolen bases and 3 runs scored, all against Sturbridge. Facing the starting pitcher for Northboro, Justin O'Connell, here is the 1-1 pitch. And that's in right at the bottom of the strike zone, a 1-ball, 2-strike count now on DeCina. The righty O'Connell delivers, and it's outside. It's really looked like DeCina has stepped up in terms of leadership on this team over this recent stretch of games, looking much more active out on the field as he chops one on the ground slowly to first base. Gathering it in is Mackey. He takes it to the first base bag, and DeCina's retired for the first out of the inning.
Over number 15, Brian Espinette.
And that will bring up Brian Espinette, getting the start once again at second base, and Espinette carrying an even .500 batting average into play this evening. He has now played in 4 games for Post 59. As he takes the first pitch inside for ball 1. Espinette 7 hits in his first 14 at-bats. He has 1 double, 3 runs batted in. He's also worked a walk. Very impressive over this stretch of 4 games. Been impossible for Coach DeVito to even think about removing Espinette from the lineup. Seems like he's found a home here in this number 2 spot. Batting now with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike, as he is granted time now at home plate. O'Connell into his windup. Here is the pitch. It's hit on the ground to shortstop. A good rangy play by Dylan Keno. He throws to first base, and Espinette is retired 6-3 on the ground out.
Number 2, Andrew McMillan.
And now 2 quick outs for Post 59, and it brings up Andrew McMillan, who was our Pepperoncini's Pizzeria and Grill Player of the Game for Wednesday night, based on A very impressive day at the plate. 3 hits for McMillan, 4 runs batted in. Really led the way in that 11-run output for the Milford offense. Takes the first pitch from Justin O'Connell for a called strike 1. And really the production for Milford out of the 3 and 4 spots in the lineup set the tone. A 3-hit day for Andrew McMillan. Kevin Valentine reaching base 3 times and driving in a pair of runs. And now O'Connell steps off. And you think back to the success that Milford has had in these previous seasons. They have had a very powerful 3-4 combination in each of those years, and it looks like they are developing one once again between McMillan and Valentine, as McMillan now sends one in the air out to left field. A tough sky once again, but dealing with it with ease was Connor Troyo. He makes the catch, and it is a 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning. So no base runners through the full first inning of play. So we head right on to inning number 2, scoreless between Milford and Northboro. You are listening to coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on First Class Radio and streaming online at WMRCDailyNews.com. Kyle Nocera set to go for inning number 2. And he delivers the first pitch in for ball 1 as the cleanup hitter in this Northboro lineup, Colin Mitchell, leads it off. And now 1 ball, 1 strike count. Nocera working quickly here in these early innings. Jumps right back up on the pitching rubber into his windup. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Down and away. Nocera with an ERA on the season of 4.04. He's pitched 8 2/3 innings now. All of those innings out of the starting rotation. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It's a floater out to shallow right field, and Blake Hill is going to have to pull up and play that ball on a hop. It's a leadoff single for Colin Mitchell.
Now batting number 5, Connor Troyo.
That is the first base runner of the night, the first hit for post 234, and it brings up now the left fielder, Connor Troyo. Kyle Nocera allowing 11 hits on the season coming into tonight. You can now make it 12 with that leadoff single here in the second. He's allowed a total of 7 runs. 5 of those have been earned. He's hit a batter. He's walked 8 and struck out 12. Opponents are batting .306 against Kyle Nocera. Nocera getting a win his last time out against Framingham. He took a loss in his first start of the year against Grafton Hill. It's down in the count, 2 balls and no strikes to Troyo, and there's a called strike, bringing the count to 2-1. Troyo, a lefty bat against the left-handed throwing Kyle Nocera. A little more time taken in between pitches for Nocera with the runner on. Delivers in a fastball that just misses, not by very much, but it brings the count to 3-1. As Nocera now operates out of the stretch. And now a check over at first base, a low throw, but picked by Kevin Valentine, who has been tested with a couple of low throws here early on in the game, but showing a good glove. He holds on Colin Mitchell, who's now back out to a lead. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That's in for a called strike 2. That fills up the count. Adam Jenga, the third baseman, waits on deck. The runner holds. The 3-2 pitch is hit slowly on the ground to the shortstop. Decina to second base for the out there. The throw on to first, not in time. There's really no chance for an out at first base. A dangerous throw from Espinette, but yet another good play at first base for Kevin Valentine. Had to come awkwardly off of the first base bag to collect the throw from Espinette. But Milford is able to cut down the lead runner as Mitchell is out at second base on the force play. Troyo safe at first on the fielder's choice. And now the first pitch into Adam Jenga misses low for ball one. Back out to a lead at first base is Troyo as the pitch is in the dirt, bringing the count to 2-0. Adam Jenga collected 2 hits against Milford pitching back on June 11th. Also had a run scored as this pitch is swung on and missed. You heard Coach DeVito talking about Nocera in our coach's corner, saying he felt comfortable starting off these hitters with his off-speed pitches and then working his way to the fastball. 2-1 pitch, a fastball that misses away. And again, Nocera going to a 3-ball count. With a runner at first base and 1 out in this top of the second inning. And this pitch again hit on the ground to shortstop. Decina to second base for the out there. The throw to first, plenty of time. 6-4-3. Milford turns the double play. This infield has been a double play machine over these last couple of nights. We're through now with the top of the second inning. It is still scoreless between Milford and Northboro. Coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio. Another fine double play turned in by the Milford infield brought a quick end to the Northboro half of the second inning. And now Kevin Valentine will step to the plate to get it started for the Milford Bats. He takes the first pitch in for a called strike. Decina starting that 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. And a count now of 1 ball and 1 strike on Valentine. Justin O'Connell, his next pitch. It's hit sharply on the ground to second base. A tough hop for Kevin O'Leary, but he's able to hold on to the baseball and fire to first for the out. O'Leary not expecting that hop. A very defensive stance as he was able to somehow snag the ball in the glove. It ends up going as a 4-3 ground out for the first out in the bottom of the second. And now Drew Wild back in the starting lineup. He bats here with 1 out in the inning and takes a called strike 1. Drew was utilized as a pinch hitter in the bottom of the 6th inning last night. Came through with a single to lead off the inning, came around to score a run, and now hits a fly ball out to center field. Back a few paces as Stamus settles underneath and makes the catch.
Now batting for Milford, number 11, Aiden Wild.
We're seeing some very quick outs in these first 2 innings on both sides.
Correction, now batting Blake Hill.
Blake Hill now stands in for post 59 with 2 outs and the bases empty. And Hill takes a called strike 1. Blake has been in a little bit of a mini slump over the last 2 games, hitless over his last 2. Starts off in an 0-1 count. Now this pitch drops down in the dirt. Last night, Blake Hill going 0 for 3, and that included hitting into a double play. So looking to break out. He had been off to a very strong start in the season. He had reached base in the first 7 games on the year. But now down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs and the base is empty. O'Connell has retired the first 5 Milford batters. Here is his pitch. This is a line drive out to center field, but it will hang up long enough for Stamus to make the catch for the out that ends the inning. A very quick bottom of the second inning for Milford. We have completed 2 innings of play now from Pheno Field, and it remains scoreless. You're listening to coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on First Class Radio.
Baseball, I'd like to thank you. Now batting for Northboro, number 17, Mike McCormick.
Northboro back up to the plate for the top of the third inning. It will be the bottom third of the lineup. Mike McCormick, Ben Mackey, and Kevin O'Leary due up. As McCormick sends a pitch in foul ground behind first base. Giving it a look was Valentine, but that is well out of play. Jumping up over the spectators, lining the edge of the field. And it's a quick 1-ball, 1-strike count on Mike McCormick. McCormick with a perfect on-base day against Milford back on June 11th. Had a pair of singles. He also walked twice. He scored a run, and he stole 2 bases. Here's a 1-2 pitch now. It's off the end of the bat. Popped up again in foul ground behind first base. It will stay on the field of play, and Brian Espinette will range out to make the catch.
Now batting number 4, Ben Mackey.
That brings up the first baseman, Ben Mackey, with 1 out and the bases clear. It is the same 2 teams that are atop the Zone 4 standings as we enter action tonight. Framingham and Northbridge tied record-wise, each with identical 8-2 records. Leominster currently in third place position with a 5-2 record, and then it's Grafton Hill and Maine South, each with 4-2 records. Shrewsbury comes in next in 6th place at 4-3, then Wachusett and North County tied record-wise at 4-4, Eastside at 2-3, and then it's Milford at 3-6, rounding out the standings. Northboro in 11th place at 2-6, Sturbridge at 2-9, and Cherry Valley with an overall record of 1 win and 6 losses. Here's the 1-1 pitch into Ben Mackey. It is a called strike 2. And just receiving an update on some of the games from around the zone tonight. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Here's the 1-2 pitch off the end of the bat, cued to second base. Espinette has it, and the throw to first is good.
Now batting number 6, Kevin O'Leary.
A full slate of games around the zone tonight. Leominster visiting Eastside. That game began at 5 o'clock. 5:30 starts for both Maine South at Wachusett and Cherry Valley at Sturbridge. Everything else a 7 o'clock start. Northboro here at Milford. North County visiting Framingham, and Shrewsbury at Grafton Hill. As the first pitch into the number 9 hitter, Kevin O'Leary, is a called strike 1. There are 2 outs in this top of the third inning. No runners aboard. And now a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Sturbridge was enjoying a 12-4 lead over Cherry Valley when we last received an update on that game back before this one got underway. And meanwhile, Leominster and Eastside tied at 0 in the 10th inning, so another lengthy extra inning game around the zone tonight. We've seen quite a few of those. It's a 2-ball, 1-strike count on O'Leary. Here's the pitch. It's swung on and missed. A good live fastball from Nocera. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning. Nocera into his windup. Here is the pitch. Outside, O'Leary thought about it but did not swing. And the count is full. Fans continuing to filter in here at Pheno Field. As here is the 3-2 pitch on the ground to the left side and under the glove of DeCina. He had to go far to his left, just could not make up the ground, and a well-placed ground ball single for Kevin O'Leary.
Now batting for Northboro, number 10, Dylan Keogh.
It's the second Northboro hit. Comes with 2 outs in the top of the third, and that allows Northboro to turn the lineup over. Dylan Keno with his second at bat. He popped out to Brian Espinette his last time up. Here's the pitch. It's hit on the ground, right back to the pitcher. Nocera waits for it and fires to first for the out that ends the inning. So a base runner on for Northboro, but not for long, as it takes Nocera just one pitch to end the inning. So we head on to the home half of the third inning. It remains Milford 0 and Northboro 0 here on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio. Bottom of the third getting underway now at Pheno. Aiden Wild will lead it off for post 59 against Justin O'Connell, the starter for Northboro, who has not yielded a base runner through his first 2 innings of work. Starts off with a called strike to Aiden. And a pitch that just grabs the outside edge, a borderline pitch that went O'Connell's way. Nothing into the count. O'Connell's next offering is low. Aiden Wild providing the final play in Milford's win last night, sending a single down the left field line that scored the 10th and 11th runs and brought the mercy rule into play, as Wild takes another pitch that just barely nicks the outside corner for a called strike 3. That is the first strikeout we've seen for either side tonight. And you can make it 7 in a row retired to start the game for O'Connell. It is now the top of the 7th inning between Sturbridge and Cherry Valley, a 14-6 lead for Sturbridge post 109. So coming back strong after suffering that mercy rule loss to Milford here last night. A 1-ball, 1-strike count. Here's a hard hit ball on the ground by Tyler Monahan, but fielded by the shortstop, Dylan Keno. And the throw to first base is there for the second out of the inning. Defensively for Northboro, it is Ross Grasso behind the plate with Adam Jenga at third, Dylan Keno at short, Kevin O'Leary at second, and Ben Mackey at first. Left to right in the outfield, Connor Troyo, Mike Stamus, and Mike McCormick. And those outfielders have not seen a whole lot of work, just 3 balls sent to the outfield so far on the day. 4 ground ball outs and a strikeout so far for Justin O'Connell to go along with those fly ball outs. He has looked very comfortable on the mound here at Pheno, so Milford facing another good Northboro starter. Here's the 1-1 pitch now into Kevin Lynch. That's a hard ground ball up the middle. That's going to sneak through for a base hit. So that breaks up the string of retired batters for Justin O'Connell. Kevin Lynch able to come through with his second hit of the season. Grabbed a single to lead off the third inning last night and touched off what was a 3-run rally for Milford. He's able to get aboard here with a base hit with 2 outs in the third and gives Decina a chance to come to the plate. He swings at the first pitch and pops it up out to shallow center field. Underneath it is Mike Stamus. He makes the catch. And that is it for Milford here in the bottom of the third inning. They get a 2-out base runner but are quickly dispatched. These two teams mirroring each other in the early innings. And we are through 3 now from Pheno Field, and it remains scoreless. Coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on First Class Radio and streaming online at WMRCDailyNews.com.
Now batting for Northboro, number 11, Mike Stamus.
First pitch swinging here. The Northboro leadoff batter, Mike Stamus, sends it out relatively deep out into left center field, but it hangs up long enough for Kevin Lynch to drift over and make the catch. And a 1-pitch out for Kyle Nocera here in the top of the 4th inning. And the Northboro head coach trying to breathe a little life into his bench, sensing that the energy level was low in the dugout, challenging his players to show some support to their men at the plate. Nocera, meanwhile, delivers in a first pitch strike to Ross Grasso, the catcher. Grounded out to shortstop in his last at-bat, takes a pitch up and away here. And that evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Nocera ready to deliver in another pitch. That is in for strike 2. The Boston Red Sox opening up a series down at Tropicana Field in Tampa, taking on the Rays as this pitch is hit out to second base. A shallow line drive that died just before Espinette could get to it, but he fires to first base. And the out is recorded, 4-3 the out. 2 up and 2 down for Northboro here in the top of the 4th. Meanwhile, down at the Trop, it is scoreless between the Red Sox and the Rays into the top of the 2nd inning. We'll keep you updated on the status of that game while we are on the air. And now the first pitch into Colin Mitchell. This is down and in for ball 1. And we will, of course, be joining the remainder of that Red Sox game after we wrap up our Legion baseball coverage for the night. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mitchell with 2 outs and the bases empty. Colin Mitchell was able to collect the first hit of the game to lead off the 2nd inning. Takes a wild swing and a miss at this pitch from Kyle Nocera, and it's now a 1 ball and 2 strike count with 2 outs and the base is empty. It has gone final between Sturbridge and Cherry Valley, a 14-8 victory for Sturbridge post 109. The 1-2 pitch from Nocera misses away. You can see Monahan setting up outside, trying to get the batter to chase, but Nocera delivering that pitch a little too far outside. Now fires in the 2-2 pitch in the dirt. So that runs it full, 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the inning. And the pitch on the way from Nocera, and that is low for ball 4. So Nocera was out in front, but he ends up losing the batter. It's his first walk of the night. And it gives a chance to Connor Troyo. Not many base runners on either side so far in this game. This is just the 4th base runner for Northboro. Milford has only had a single base runner so far as this pitch is down in the dirt. It kicks away from Monahan, and down to second base goes Mitchell. A wild pitch for Nocera, and now all of a sudden, Northboro has a runner in scoring position with 2 outs in the inning. So he was 1 pitch away from a 1-2-3 inning, and now things getting a bit dicey. Northboro given a run scoring opportunity. The 1-0 pitch into Troyo is in for a called strike. A healthy lead off of second base now for Mitchell. DeCina sneaking in behind. Here's the pitch. This is floated out to shallow left field. It's trouble. It's going to get down for a hit. They will wave the runner to the plate. The throw comes into shortstop. As in to score comes Mitchell with the first run of the game. And Northboro able to get some 2-out magic here in the top of the 4th inning, and they take a 1-0 lead.
Now batting, number 50, Adam Jenga.
Walk proved to be a killer for Nocera. Again, ahead of the batter, 1 ball and 2 strikes, but walked Mitchell. The wild pitch sent him into scoring position, and it allows Northboro to scratch that run across on the base hit by Troyo. And now Nocera's first pitch to Adam Jenga is down in the dirt. This one blocked out in front by Monahan. Milford defensively tonight, it's Tyler Monahan behind the plate with Andrew McMillan at 3rd, Matt DeCina at short, Brian Espinette at 2nd, and Kevin Valentine at 1st. Left to right in the outfield, Aiden Wild, Kevin Lynch, and Blake Hill. This one is hit on the ground, snagged by the pitcher. A hard throw to first base from Nocera. Maybe a little frustration behind that throw. He gets it there in time for the out that ends the inning, but a walk and a 2-out base hit from Northboro produces the game's first run. And as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, it is 1-0 in favor of Northboro post 234. Coverage of Milford Legion baseball here on First Class Radio. The first pitch from Justin O'Connell here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Misses down and in. It causes Brian Espinette to jump back out of the batter's box. Espinette, McMillan, and Valentine, the 3 batters expected here in the home half of the 4th inning. And a very frustrating conclusion to that top half of the inning for Kyle Nocera. Meanwhile, Espinette sends a pitch out to shallow left field. No problem for Connor Troyo. He makes the catch. Troyo coming through with a 2-out RBI single in the top half of the inning to give post 234 the lead. And Justin O'Connell, now 3 1/3 innings deep into his outing, has just allowed 1 single base runner, a 2-out hit last inning from Kevin Lynch, before Tessina was erased on just 1 pitch to end the inning, and that is it. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count now to Andrew McMillan. McMillan flew out to left field to conclude the 1st inning. He takes a pitch down and in for ball 2. So once again, the offense sputtering after a big night in their previous game. McMillan, a hard line drive, but right at the shortstop, Dylan Kino, who makes the catch.
Now batting number 3, Kevin Valentine.
And O'Connell continues to breeze along. Kevin Valentine now the last hope for Milford in the 4th. He swings at the first pitch and lofts it foul and out of play off to the left. Valentine grounding out to second base in his last at bat. No balls, 1 strike, 2 away. O'Connell's pitch. This is hit hard on the ground. A high bounce snagged by the second baseman, O'Leary. He fires to first. It looked like that ball was ticketed for the outfield, and the high bounce ended up tailing back towards the second baseman. It allowed him to make the play and the throw for the out that ends the inning. Another 1-2-3 inning for Justin O'Connell in this game, and we've now played 4 innings from Pheno Field, and it's a 1-0 lead for Northboro over Milford Post 59. You are listening to coverage of Milford Legion baseball here on First Class Radio. It is a 1-0 lead for Northboro as post 234 comes to the plate in the top of the 5th inning. Kyle Nocera back out on the mound for his 5th inning of work. He deals in ball 1 to Mike McCormick. And now off the end of the bat, this ball fouled away to bring the count to 1-1. Some sunshine still lingering out in left field and just a little bit in between the pitcher's mound and home plate. The rest of the field encased in shadow. We're already into the top of the 5th inning. It's only 7:40. It's been a very fast early portion to this game, as McCormick tries to hold up the swing, and he did not. The home plate umpire calls it himself. It is a called strike 3. The first strikeout for Kyle Nocera. And it brings the first out in the top of the 5th. 1 run on 3 hits and no errors for Northboro. No runs, just 1 hit and no errors for Milford. And now Ben Mackey swings at the first pitch and sends it foul off to the right and out of play. Ben Mackey, no relation to Brian Mackey that we are aware of. That name, of course, holding a lot of significance for this post-59 team. Former head coach Brian Mackey having a lot of success in 4 years at the helm of this Milford program, guiding the team to their intrastate championship back in 2013, back-to-back intrastate championship appearances. It's a 2-ball, 1-strike count on Ben Mackey. And the next pitch from Nocera misses just outside. 3 balls and a strike. In danger of walking another batter. Nocera walking Colin Mitchell with 2 outs last inning. It had disastrous results. And there is ball 4 issued to the number 8 hitter, Ben Mackey. He will trot down to first base. A 1-out walk. And for Kyle Nocera, he's now walked 10 batters in total on the season. Walks have gotten him into trouble in his previous 2 starts. And now here is Kevin O'Leary, who was able to grab a 2-out single in his first at-bat out of this number 9 spot. He takes a called strike 1 at the knees here. Bring you an update on the Boston Red Sox after this next pitch from Nocera, which is fouled to the backstop. The Red Sox have opened up a 2-0 lead against Tampa Bay, getting a RBI double out of Alejandro De Aza and also a sacrifice fly by Jackie Bradley Jr. A 2-0 lead as now the runner takes off for second base. The throw down is off the mark, and in safely with the steal was Mackey. Not sure if that was an actual pitch out from Nocera or if the ball was just up and away, but it put Monahan in good position to make the throw. It just tailed towards the shortstop side of the bag. So another runner in scoring position, and out to a gigantic lead at second base was Mackey. Nocera stepping off to look the runner back. But right back out again. He takes off as the pitch is fouled away. And now Matt DeCina will head to the pitcher's mound to no doubt make sure that Nocera pays special attention to that runner at second base. You don't want to let that runner eat up too much of your attention, but at the same time, Mackey really noticing that Nocera was not looking in his direction. It gave him a chance to get an excellent jump. He creeps out to a lead again. This time he doesn't go, and an off-balance swing and a miss from Kevin O'Leary. He goes down. The second strikeout in the inning for Nocera. 2 outs now as we go back up to the top spot in the lineup, and Dylan Kino. 0 for 2 out of this top spot. And good late movement on that pitch from Nocera, bending back over to the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Again, Mackey with a considerable lead at second base. Nocera looks him briefly back to the bag. Mackey not even going back to the second base bag. He springs right back out to the lead again. And now strike 2 issued. DeCina doing all he can to keep that runner close, but Nocera rarely looking in his direction. Gets off to a lead about a third of the way down the line. Cat and mouse game on the bases continues. Nothing into the count with 2 outs in the inning. Now they have the runner picked off in a rundown now between second and third. DeCina applies the tag, and so Mackey really testing the limits of Kyle Nocera, and it ends up biting him in the end. He gets picked off for the final out of the inning. So we head now to the bottom half of the 5th inning. It remains just a 1-run lead for Northboro, 1-0 the score, here on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio. Back here once again on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on WMRC First Class Radio. Tim Coed on the call. We are already into the bottom of the 5th inning. Milford trailing Northboro by a score of 1-0. They'll have their 5, 6, and 7 batters come to the plate against Justin O'Connell here in the 5th. Drew Wild up now. He takes a hard fastball that backs him off the plate. A count of 1 ball and 1 strike on Wild, who flew out to center field his last time up. He sends this pitch out to left field, a long run towards the line for Troyo, but again, the ball hangs up. Gives the left fielder a chance to make the play. A line out for Wild to begin things in the bottom of the 5th. Northboro getting a base runner to second base in the top half of this inning, but really a little bit too greedy out of Ben Mackey at second base, jumping out to repeated large leads, and it eventually led to a pickoff that ended the inning. And you could see the head coach for Northboro not at all pleased with Mackey collecting that final out on the bases. It's a 1-0 count now to Blake Hill. Blake Hill lines this pitch back up the middle. That is through for a base hit. Just the 2nd hit of the night for Milford. Comes with 1 out here in the 5th. Instantly puts the tying run on base. These Milford fans have not had much to cheer for so far on the night. But getting excited thanks to the 1-out base hit by Hill, and now Aiden Wild a chance. He was called out on strikes his last time up. The Milford bench also trying to get engaged in this one. This is a hard ground ball. That's going to sneak through the right side for a hit. Aiden Wild first pitch swinging, and he poked it past Kevin O'Leary at second base. Back-to-back base hits. And now the tying run in scoring position with 1 out for Milford. And it looks like we will see a pinch hitting appearance. Tyler Monahan introduced, but now Coach DeVito coming out to home plate. And he will call upon Michael Ryan to make the pinch hitting appearance for Tyler Monahan. A big spot in this game, and getting a big hand from the bench and also from the fans here. Michael Ryan, good to see him about to head back to the plate. We have not seen Michael Ryan in game action since back on June 16th here at Pheno against Wachusett, injuring the thumb. He has sat out each of the games since, but healthy enough to make the pinch hitting appearance here tonight. And he takes the first pitch for ball 1. Michael Ryan had been batting .313 through the first 5 games on the season. Had 3 runs batted in. He pops this pitch up in foul ground. That will drift out of play. So he was certainly settling into a groove in the middle of this lineup before the injury. He bats now with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike with the tying run at second base, the go-ahead run at first. Here's the 1-1 pitch from O'Connell. It's lifted in the air out to left field. Drifting in is Troyo. He makes the catch. And Michael Ryan is out number 2.
Now batting number 13, Kevin Lynch.
That will leave it up to the number 9 hitter, Kevin Lynch. He was able to grab Milford's first hit back in the 3rd inning. The righty batter facing the right-handed throwing Justin O'Connell. And the first pitch from O'Connell is lined just up over the backstop and out of play. That one ticking off of the very top of the backstop before drifting out. And it's a no ball, 1 strike count on Lynch. Here's the pitch. A snap throw down to first base, and just diving back in safely was Aiden Wild. He was out to a big lead. The catcher had started heading towards the dugout thinking he had the pickoff. But safe at first base was Wild. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Lynch. O'Connell to the set. Here's the pitch. Outside. It was the pitcher that was taking a step towards the dugout. And it looks like there is some confusion on the count.
Hey, let's go. Get big here. Come on up. Get 1-2.
It is a 1-ball, 2-strike count on the batter, Kevin Lynch. Two outs in the inning. Milford in danger of stranding the tying run on base, and they do as the pitch is swung on and missed from Lynch. The ball briefly gets out of the mitt of the catcher, but the throw down to first completes the final out of the inning, so 2 aboard with 1 out, and Milford cannot score. More frustration with men on base. And through 5 innings of play, it remains a 1-0 lead for Northboro over Milford. Coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on First Class Radio.
Now batting for Northboro, number 10 is Dylan Keogh.
Into the game now defensively for post 59 is Jeff Basazzi. He takes over behind the plate. Michael Ryan pinch hitting for Tyler Monahan in the bottom half of the 5th, and now Basazzi goes in defensively behind the plate. Nocera back out on the mound. His first pitch into Dylan Keno is a called strike 1. Keno was at the plate with 2 outs in the inning when Ben Mackey was picked off to conclude the top of the 5th. Up now with a fresh count. Count now 1 ball and 1 strike. A very frustrating inning for the Milford offense. As this pitch is swung on and missed, chasing the outside pitch was Keno. Kyle Nocera remains in this game on the mound as this pitch is hit on a line foul down the left field line, glancing off of the stands that are just off the field of play in left field. It stays a 1-ball, 2-strike count. The lights are on here at Fino Field now. As Nocera delivers the 1-2 pitch, waved at and missed by Keno. That was a rough at bat, chased a couple of pitches off the outside part of the plate. The 3rd strikeout for Nocera. All 3 strikeouts have come in these last 2 innings, so that follows a similar pattern to what we saw out of Nocera in his start against Framingham, collecting a lot of his strikeouts late in the outing. Nocera getting 6 strikeouts over his last 3 innings of work against Framingham post 74 in a victory. And immediately jumps out in front of Mike Stamus, the center fielder, 1 ball or no balls and 2 strikes. Wind up and the pitch from Nocera. It's upstairs. One and 2 now with 1 out and the base is empty. Here is the pitch. And that's on the inside edge for a called strike 3, just nicking that inside part of the plate. And that is 3 straight strikeouts for Nocera. He struck out 4 of the last 5 batters. That strike 3 may have been a bit of a gift from the home plate umpire, but the Milford fans won't complain. As now this ball is hit on the ground to the left side, deep in the hole at shortstop. A desperation throw for DeCina, and he gets it there in time. DeCina from the edge of the outfield grass sent a quick off-balance throw to first and managed to get it there just ahead of the catcher, Ross Grasso, for the out that ends the inning. A nice play turned in from DeCina, and it's a 1-2-3 inning in the top of the sixth. Time starting to wind down for Milford. They will come to the plate in the bottom of the sixth inning, trailing 1-0 here on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for Northboro. No runs, 3 hits, and no errors for Milford. A nice inning turned in by Kyle Nocera and the Milford infield in that top of the sixth inning. Back-to-back Ks to start off the inning for Nocera, and then a terrific play turned in by Matt DeCina, who continues to really sparkle at that shortstop position, traveling deep in the hole at shortstop, going far to his right. Was able to make the stab on the ground ball and send a throw to first base that just beat the slow-footed catcher, Ross Grasso, for the out that ended the inning. And wouldn't you know it, the player who makes the good play defensively in the top half of the inning leads off the bottom half of the inning, as Matt DeCina will lead it off here in the bottom of the sixth against Justin O'Connell. And a little floating fly ball out to center field. That caught Stamus by surprise. He was in at first, then had to race back, but he gets there to make the catch. An 0-for-3 day atop the lineup for DeCina. Milford has not been able to get their leadoff batter on base yet in this game through now 6 innings. 1 out now here in the sixth for Brian Espinette. 0-for-2. He grounded out to shortstop in the first. Flew out to shallow left field in the fourth. 1-0 pitch. That's in for a strike. 11 runs on 11 hits for Milford just 2 nights ago against Sturbridge, but limited to just 3 hits here, as now Espinette sends one deep in the hole at shortstop. And a good play now on the Northboro side, as Dylan Keno is able to get the throw just in time to beat Espinette. Two quick outs for Milford in the bottom of the sixth, down to their final 4 outs in the game. Just a 1-run deficit, a 1-0 score. Very little offense on both sides. Andrew McMillan trying to keep this bottom of the sixth inning alive. He takes a breaking ball for a called strike 1. Hesitation from O'Connell. Now he kicks and deals, and the pitch is lofted in the air out to right center field. Going after it is the right fielder McCormick. He steps in front of the center fielder Mike Stamus to make the catch for the out that ends the inning. Another 1-2-3 frame. That is now 4 1-2-3 innings on the night for Justin O'Connell, who continues to stifle this Milford offense. We head to the 7th, and it is a 1-run lead for Northboro, up 1-0 over Milford here on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio. Right back out on the pitcher's mound for the 7th inning is Kyle Nocera. His first pitch of the inning sails outside to the designated hitter Colin Mitchell. The middle of the order bats due up for Northboro here in the 7th. Colin Mitchell, the cleanup hitter. He has reached base twice against Nocera, a single in the second, a walk in the fourth. And that walk really proved to be one of the pivotal moments in this game. A 2-out walk to Colin Mitchell back in the 4th inning, followed by a wild pitch, and then a single by Connor Troyo allowed Northboro to scratch across the only run that has scored so far in this game. Northboro leading this one 1-0 in the 7th, and it's a 3-1 count on Mitchell, and there is ball 4, so he walks for the 2nd time. And an ominous beginning to this top of the 7th inning. A leadoff walk, never a good sign. The bullpen is quiet for Milford right now. And Nocera has pitched well. He's currently at 86 pitches. He's allowed a total of 3 hits and 2 walks. But walking the leadoff batter here in the 7th inning. It is 3 walks in all on the game for Nocera. As this pitch is a line drive back up the middle, that's through for a hit. Sneaking past both the gloves of Nocera and Decina. And just like that, Northboro with 2 on and nobody out as they look to gather some insurance in the top of the 7th. And timeout called as Coach DeVito will head out of the dugout. He makes the slow walk from the first base dugout. Conversing now with Nocera as well as the catcher, Jeff Basazzi. Northboro with Colin Mitchell now at second base and Connor Troyo at first. So those 4 and 5 batters in the Northboro lineup have done well against Nocera, combining for 3 hits and 2 walks. And the only run batted in so far, but a good opportunity here for post 234 with 2 on and nobody out. The conference breaks up on the mound, and now Adam Jenga, the Northboro third baseman, will stand in on the right side. He takes the first pitch in for a called strike 1. Jenga is 0 for 2. Tries to hold up the swing, and he does. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Jenga grounded into an inning-ending double play back in the 2nd. And hit a 1-hopper back to the pitcher for a 1-3 out that ended the 4th. He sends a chopper on the ground towards shortstop, fielded by Decina. The throw to second out. The throw to first is there for the double play. The throw from Espinette 1-hopped at first base, but once again, Kevin Valentine showing excellent glove work. And 6-4-3, they turn it. Jenga bouncing into his 2nd double play of the night. 2 outs now in the inning, but a runner at third base for Northboro. And the first pitch now into Mike McCormick is ball 1. Erased at second was Troyo with Jenga out at first on the double play. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed. A good fastball. Rearing back for that one was Nocera. 1-1 the count. Now up to 93 pitches in his outing. Emptying the tank here as this ball is floated out to shallow right field. It gets down for a hit, and the runner from third will score. And so there is your difference in this game right now. Northboro has gotten those key hits to fall when they've had runners in scoring position, and Milford has not. So it's now a 2-0 lead for post 234. A very important insurance run crossing the plate, as now this pitch is hit slowly on the ground. Fielding it is the first baseman Valentine. He uses the pitcher Nocera to cover the first base bag for the out that ends the inning, but a key 2-out RBI single from Mike McCormick allows Northboro to up their lead to 2-0. It will be a 2-run deficit for Milford as they come to the plate in the bottom of the 7th inning. Can they make the comeback? We will find out next here on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio. Well, here we go. The bottom of the 7th inning here at Pheno Field. Milford trailing Northboro by a score of 2-0. Northboro defeating Milford back on their home field earlier this season by a final of 5-1, looking to sweep the season series against Post 59. And it is Justin O'Connell back on the mound, looking for the complete game effort. He has been superb, allowing just 3 hits over the first 6 innings. He has not walked a batter. He's struck out 2. behind Kevin Valentine to lead off the inning. 2 balls and no strikes. The next pitch on the way, that is down and in. Three balls and no strikes, the count to Valentine. Milford would love to see their leadoff runner aboard. It'd be the first time all night. Here is the 3-0 pitch. Valentine taking all the way, and he takes a pitch right down Main Street for strike 1. O'Connell back into his windup. Here's the pitch. It's a fly ball out to left field towards the line, but plenty of room for Connor Troyo to make the catch. And ahead in the count 3-0, but Kevin Valentine succumbs as out number 1 in the inning. Milford again scoring 11 runs here 2 nights ago, but held off the scoreboard, now down to their final 2 outs. Drew Wild up now. He takes a generous strike call on the inside part of the plate. Wild 0 for 2 out of this number 5 spot in the lineup. And Drew Wild granted time at the plate now. No balls and 1 strike, 1 out, and the base is empty. O'Connell's pitch. Now on the outside corner for a called strike 2. The Northboro fans have traveled very well to Pheno Field here tonight, anticipating a big victory here. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it's hit on the ground foul past first base. It's taken us just about an hour and 20 minutes to get 1 out deep into the bottom of the 7th inning. A fast-moving game, certainly fast when no offense is generated on the Milford side. Here's another 0-2 and a check swing from Wild. Did he go around? No, says the infield umpire. Every member of the post 59 bench is currently standing right at the very edge of their dugout area, trying to help their teammates spark a rally. Here's a 1-2 pitch. It's down in the dirt. Two balls and 2 strikes to Drew Wild. He steps back into the left side batter's box. Readies himself for the next pitch from Justin O'Connell. Here it comes. And a close one, misses for ball 3, right around the same spot where strike 1 was called earlier in the at-bat. Wild stays alive now, a 3-2 pitch on the way, and it's inside for ball 4. Wild works the 1-out walk, and that will allow Milford to bring the tying run to the plate. So Wild at first base, and now Blake Hill comes to the plate. He has one of Milford's 3 hits on the night. He lined a single back up the middle with 1 out in the 5th inning. That was Milford's best scoring opportunity of the night, getting back-to-back hits. 2 on with 1 out, but they could not score. And Hill takes the first pitch in for a called strike 1. That pitch looking further inside than the one that was ruled ball 3 to Drew Wild, so that inside part of the plate a bit inconsistent here in the 7th. Here's the 0-1, and it's waved at and missed. The Northboro fans out cheering the Milford fans here in the 7th. 0-2 the count to Hill, 1 out and a runner aboard at first. From the stretch, here's the pitch. It's down low. A good block from the catcher, Grasso. Northboro pushing across a key insurance run in the top half of this inning to bring the score to 2-0. Hill steps back into the box with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here is the pitch. And that misses a little bit high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Drew Wild now sidestepping out to a lead at first base. Here's the pitch to the plate. It is down in the dirt. And so a little bit of nerves out of Justin O'Connell in these last 2 at-bats. Walking Drew Wild with 1 out. He's now gone to a full count to Blake Hill. The young first-year player, Aiden Wild, waits on deck. Here is the payoff pitch, and it's up high for ball 4, and that will put the tying runs aboard. Back-to-back walks. It's the first 2 walks allowed by Justin O'Connell in his outing. And that will prompt a visit from the Northboro coaching staff. And while time is out, Coach DeVito leaving the third base coach's box, going over and rallying the troops in the Milford dugout. We have not seen Milford produce a come-from-behind victory on the season. Trying to pull it off here tonight. They have Drew Wild at second base with Blake Hill at first base. Back-to-back walks in the inning with 1 out. And now here is Aiden Wild, who led the Hockomock League in batting during the high school season. In a crucial spot here, and he watches the first pitch sail outside for ball 1, and lunging after it was the catcher Grasso, sprawling out into the left side batter's box to keep that one from going to the backstop. The control wavering for Justin O'Connell here in this bottom of the 7th inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's hit softly on the ground to second base. A tricky hop. The throw to second base is not in time. Everyone will be safe. That ball hit on the ground to Kevin O'Leary, who had eyes on a 4-6-3 game-ending double play. The ball popped out of his glove. He tried to shuffle the ball to second base to get 1 out. But beating it out at second base was Blake Hill, and the bases are now loaded with 1 out. Near disaster for Milford, but a very costly error from Northboro. And they will be loaded up, and it will be Jeff Basazzi who will come to the plate. Basazzi has seen very limited time over this last stretch of games. He's batting .200 on the season, just 3 hits and 15 at-bats. He does have 3 runs batted in on the season. Digs in on the right side. Here's the pitch from O'Connell. That's in for strike 1. Jeff Basazzi, a recent Milford High School graduate. He has played in many games here at Pheno Field. Come through with many a big hit. Looking to do it here for post 59. Here's the 0-1, and it's hit hard on the ground, but foul wide of first base. And Basazzi down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Not a place Basazzi wants to be. He has struck out 7 times so far on the season. No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out, and a Milford runner at every base. Here's the pitch, and it's hit on the ground to first base, scooped up by the second baseman, O'Leary, who will throw to first to get 1 out there. In the back door from third base to score comes Drew Wild. So Basazzi able to come through with an RBI on the ground out. As Wild comes in to score, it brings it to a 2-1 game. The tying run at third base, the winning run at second, and it leaves things up to the number 9 hitter, Kevin Lynch. Lynch 1 for 2. He singled back in the 3rd. He struck out swinging in the 5th. It all comes down to this crucial at bat. 2-1 the score. O'Connell's first pitch of the at-bat, it's down low, and a desperation block from Grasso. He has really done some good work behind the plate for Northboro in this inning, corralling a number of low and outside pitches from O'Connell. The Milford bench stays engaged. It's a 1-ball, no strike count on Lynch. 2 in scoring position. Here is the pitch. It's hit hard on the ground. It gets underneath the glove of the shortstop. Into score comes Blake Hill. They'll wave Aiden Wild to the plate. The throw is not in time, and Milford will walk off with the 3-2 victory. And the entire team mobbing Kevin Lynch, now in foul ground behind first base. He hit a hot shot to shortstop that snuck underneath the glove of Dylan Keno. It allowed both runners to come around to score. And Milford comes through with a 3-2 win from the brink of defeat. They're able to come through. An unbelievable end to this one tonight at Pheno Field. Kevin Lynch drives in 2 runs to win the ball game for Milford. They come through with their second consecutive victory. They improve now to 4-6 on the year, and this is certainly the most feel-good win of the season. Not a mercy rule victory here tonight. An excruciating game from beginning to end. Frustration all the way through offensively, but some key at-bats here in the 7th inning propels Milford to the 3-2 victory.